Now, this was a long process, the soldering of all the joins for the guitar coils. It was also a bit strenuous because I wasn't even 100% sure if the guitar coils were going to work properly. Some of the problems that I faced ahead of this was the guitar replacement parts. Some of them didn't come with wiring diagrams and labels, so it kind of took a bit of guesswork. Eventually I did get it to work properly though. Another thing I wouldn't realise until much later also was the guitar volume knobs, which I'm currently working on there, were actually bigger than the original ones and did require a bit of working to get to fit into the guitar body. I didn't realise this until post-editing. I didn't know how much footage there was, so I will speed up several parts of this. So the volume controls were a bit bigger than the original and required some modification.
My shadow side so amplified keeps coming back dissatisfied. Elementary son, but it's so. My love affair with everywhere was innocent. Why do you care? Someone start the car, time to go. You're the best
It's a bit hard to tell from this video, but it had actually been about 2 months since I had sanded back the guitar. So when I got around to this part, when I got the parts in and I got it all together, it was finally a sense of I can see this thing coming to a close real soon. I want to see a finished project and it will look great.
Automatic laughter from a pro.
I'm about to show the resin which had hardened over the time, and in some cases the runoffs had caused a few bumps. You'll see in the photos, and I have highlighted in sections where the resin even was trapped under the paper and caused a bit of smears. This wouldn't be a problem for the bumps though, because sandpaper could be used to smoothen those edges. Of course, the first thing to do was to remove all the tape and try to remove all the silicone.
I like to say we did it for the better of.
Eventually you could sand and buffer down all the edges that were previously shown.
I'm motivated by the lack of doubt. I'm consecrated, but I'm not devout. The mother, the father, the daughter. Yeah. Right on the verge, just one more dose. I'm traveling from coast to coast. My theory isn't perfect, but it's close.
From this angle you can see some of the bumps have been sanded down, and it would just take a little bit more effort to get it to a smooth finish.
Now what a good day for a walk outside. I like to think we did it for the better of. Well,
This angle shows the attention required to one section which was a bit more higher in the resin than the rest of the body of the guitar. And you can see the effort that I'm going through just to buff it down to the rest of the level of the guitar.
the mother, the father, the daughter. Oh, you don't fall in the wet sand.
The sanding element of this project was coming along quite nicely. Both edges were smoothening down to a level that I thought was fine. However, the project then took a turn, as I soon discovered, and would require drastic measures.
Wet sand. You don't fall at all. Oh, you don't fall in the wet sand. I do.
And of course, like any big project, problems occurred. So it's February the 4th. I've finished off the initial sanding on the guitar, and having a look at it again, there's quite a few issues. You can see the sander has really edged it in designs. Even the silicone that was supposed to act as a barrier to level up the resin refuses to remove and has caused stains, and in some locations even channels, which is very problematic to fix. It's very obvious where the silicone was. For example, here as well. I was hoping to buff it out and down to level, but in some instances it's obviously gone down too far because of uneven surfaces. So overall, we have a lot of problems. After a couple of days of thinking, I have decided to redo the project, which means I will sand back the entire guitar and I will start from scratch. I love the design of it. I've taken some photos for reference to try and capture it again, but we will use a different method instead of resin this time, and hopefully it won't cause things like staining which I have tried out with some test pieces here. No noticeable staining. As you can see, no colour running either, especially when you compare it to, you know, some of the other test pieces which do show that problem. So, very unfortunate. I was planning to have this actually bolted together and strung up this weekend, but unfortunately I am now going to hopefully sand it back entirely this afternoon and re-glue it over the next couple of days. And fingers crossed I can still make the deadline of the end of the month. Please click on to part 3 to find out how the rest of this video continues and to see if I can reach this deadline of the end of the month project complete.